Welcome to A Street Rat's Path to Ascension, Chapter 2, The Deserted City. Wake up! Wake up! Atropos jolted awake after the night of the most comfortable sleep he had ever had. Even though the inn had been abandoned, Tyrion had made it quite homely for himself. We're burning daylight! We need to get moving! Tyrion urged. Atropos sighed and rolled out of bed. He grabbed his clothes, which he had neatly placed on a chair, and put them on. Oh, and grab the blue cloak with the maroon collar. Quickly! Tyrion added. Are the people of Maroon known for their colours? Atropos asked. What? No, there's no place called Maroon. Maroon is a colour. It can also refer to someone being trapped or stranded somewhere, usually on a small island in a vast open water. You might be thinking of Mattoon, the home of the Grey Tower of Galindor of the Sky. Said to be so tall that he can reach the halls of the Sky God himself, and you're getting it mixed up with Steckendal, the home of Dies. Not to be confused with the home of the Dying God, which is located in Mallinston, or the place where the dye was invented, which is O'Cull. Atropos wasn't thinking of Mattoon. He had never heard of the place. He hadn't heard of Steckendal either, so he definitely wasn't mixing those two places up. Yeah, Steckendale was the place I was thinking of. Always gets it mixed up with Mahoon, because it sounds so much like maroon, which is a collar. Atropos said as he grabbed one of the cloaks. The other one, Tyrion corrected. Right, Atropos picked up the other cloak. Any reason why I'm grabbing this cloak? Atropos asked. No, I just think it's nice. It's my favourite one, Tyrion replied. Anything else we need? Atropos asked. Tyrion glanced around the room and pointed at a few items and then a few more. Okay, that's enough. I don't think I can carry any more. Tyrion took another glance around the room. Then he sighed as he stretched his arm out, leading Atropos towards the door. The sun had just risen, and a few flowers that still grew in the stockade were glazed with morning dew, but the smell of rotting wood ruined what would have been a pleasant morning. Enjoying yourself? Atropos noticed that he had been standing still. Jocasta is to the east. We could go to the city and exit to the eastern gate, or we could go to the western gate, which is closer, but we might get robbed. What do you feel like, Atropos? The long way to the city, or getting robbed? Tyrion asked. Well, they'll rob your stuff, so, Atropos began. Very considerate, Atropos. I hope they'll stab you. Well, not lethally, but you stab you enough so that it will hurt for a long time. Not long enough to slow us up. You're a bad person, Atropos. Atropos sighed and started to make his way towards the eastern gate. Following the remnants of a once cobbled street, few stones remained. The ones that used to be there had probably been removed and put somewhere else. Through that window, perhaps? Atropos stopped and looked at the broken window of one of the rotting houses. Maybe the window had been broken because the frame guarding it had rotted, and the stone that was supposedly thrown through it had simply been removed from the street and used to cobble a newer part of the city. Are you wondering what happened here? Tyrion asked. You're on the right path. Revolt, resistance, riot, but that's all in the past. Let's keep moving. As they exited Stockenold, the air got fresher. But to Atropos' surprise, the new district they entered was equally deserted, but much nicer looking. This was a temple district, named after its grand attraction, the Temple of Galindor. Tyrion and Atropos walked past an unattended newspaper stand, just outside the Temple of Galindor. The temple, a grand structure of white marble, looked out of place among the wooden buildings it dwarfed. Large pillars marked its entrance, standing tall and imposing. This place was usually bustling with people, but now it was completely deserted. It was odd seeing the temple like this. Like a grand attraction nobody had any interest in. Where did they get the white marble from? Atropos wondered. Another thought quickly followed. How do I even know what white marble is? And how do I know that it's not from the area surrounding Pentegrass? Memories of this place started to flood his mind. Fond and not so fond. He remembered being chased away simply for trying to enter the temple. A place that was supposedly open for all. Would I be chased away now? With my fine robes, freshly bathed, teeth fixed? He also recalled that Gallon Day was a good day for pickpocketing, with lots of people visiting the temple from all over Glendingal. People who weren't used to the big city and didn't pay close enough attention to the street rats walking among them. I loved Gallon Day, usually the only day you could eat without stealing. Well, stealing food at the very least. Is it Galen Day today? He wondered. Can you grab one of those newspapers for me? Just place a fractal on the table. Thank you very much. And could you read it out loud for me? I would like to hear what's going on, Tyrion said. I can't read, Atropos said. Well, that is going to be a problem. Hold it off for me then. Pentagraph's presser states that King Donegal Tarun Sectipans has declared war against Fengor. Apparently a drawing of Donegal was hung in the town square of Fahrenheit, depicting the King of Glendingal. Oh my. Not something to go to war over, don't get me wrong, but oh my. In Fahrenheit of all places. Not even the capital of Fengor. That would be Tromsport. Fahrenheit is a small town on the border of Glendingal just past the Foglands. It was probably someone from Mattoon who hung the drawing. A Glendingalian who's unhappy with the king. And they have every right to be. It's been utter chaos under Donegal Tarun Sectipans. I liked it better when his father, Glumdale, was in charge. Ha ha! Glumdale Sectipans. Ignorant, fat, easily manipulated, leaned on his scepter, the scepter broke and he fell to his death. Unfortunate fate. Left the throne open for his equally ignorant, hot-tempered, moronic, sloppy, stinking, ill-mannered son! Atropos looked back at the newspaper, and to his surprise the words Tyrion had just read made sense to him. He looked at other sections, and found that he could understand words there too. Is this a connection at play? Can I somehow learn by just listening to Tyrion? What else can I learn? Was the fact that the temple was made from white marble, from somewhere far away from Pentagrass, also come from Tyrion? Was he thinking about it? Or is it just enough that he knew? Atropos, this newspaper is pretty old. It's from 2 weeks ago. Are there no fresher ones? I grabbed the one at the top. I think it's the freshest one. It says on the bottom of the paper that the people of Pentagrass are terrified. The guy who's supposed to tend to the stand isn't even here. Look! A curfew has been put in place as a vagrant vanisher, claims another victim. Are anybody safe? Stay in your homes, don't take any risks. I thought you said you couldn't read. The vagrant vanisher. What a ridiculous name.
Young man, do you have a coin to spare for an old man who hasn't eaten in 3 days?
Atropos turned around and saw a very thin old man, missing one ear. He had one faded eye almost white, and he was wearing rags full of holes. Aren't you afraid of the vagrant vanisher? Atropos asked.
Very much so, but I don't have any choice. If I hide, I will die of hunger. If I venture outside, I might be taken by the vanisher, but one is certain, the other less so, the old man replied. Ignore him, Atropos. He'll perish soon enough, even if we feed him, Tyrion said. How much do we need for our journey? Atropos asked. Atropos, don't, Tyrion demanded. Atropos took out the coin purse. About half of it? Atropos said. He poured half of the coin purse into the beggar's hand. Then he opened his bag and took out a blue cloak with a maroon collar. Here you go, this will keep you warm, Atropos said, handing the cloak to the beggar. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Are you happy now? Do you feel validated? Tyrion said sarcastically. Let's go, daylight's burning, Atropos said.